Hello, greetings, and of course, g'day, mate. I am the Hound, but of course, you can call me Hound or Connor. And welcome to the second episode of a show I have yet to name, which is honestly on track to being the name of this show because it's so far the best name I could come up with. Now, if I'm being totally honest with you guys, I completely forgot I was going to be recording this today. I've had a very busy Thursday today. I record these on a Thursday with the hopes of having them edited together and thrown out on a Friday. And it's been a very busy Thursday today. Doctor's appointments, we had a skip bin come in, and I can tell you right now, we have had a lot of stuff to go into that skip bin for quite some time. It's been thundering and storming today as well. It's been a lot. I've been up since about 5 o'clock in the morning, by the way. And it's now, what is the time? 11 at night, and I'm finally getting to this part of the day. So yeah, I'm really tired. But we're powering on, we're soldering through, we're getting onto it because there's so much I actually really want to talk about. Like, for instance, I've got a lovely little ring light here, actually. A ring light that was donated by one of the clients at the gym I work at, Power to Move. They donated it to the gym, and I have borrowed it, I'll call it, borrowed it for the time being, just to see how it works. It's quite lovely, actually. I'll give you a little, look, there's a little button, and I can change the nature of the color. Look at me, I'm all orange. Oh, it's like I'm staring into a fire. Nice blue and sort of like a neutral white. I don't know which one I like more. I think I like the blue because the neutral light makes me look kind of sun-kissed. This one just straight up makes it look like I'm sitting in front of an orange light. This one here, like it. Really brings out my paleness. So today, we have a couple of things I wanted to touch on today. Obviously, I'm doing a podcast. There's always going to be a couple of things I want to touch on today. I don't think there is a single day that goes by where I don't have something I really want to talk about. I am a man who likes to speak ad nauseum. I'm sure you have noticed. But a lot has happened in the last 2 weeks. We have had Hasbro's Pulsecon. We obviously had the DC Fandom, which Sam and Ashraf have already covered last week, and I think a little bit this week as well, because they forgot to cover a few things last week. So if you want to go check out some opinions on fandom, Ashraf is the man to talk about DC. Go check out what they did these last 2 Wednesdays. They haven't talked about Pulsecon, though. Pulsecon happened this weekend. Well, not this weekend, the weekend previous to the recording of this video. And it's also just been a big month for me as well. I worked my last shift at the petrol station I worked at. I'm done. I'm out of there. I'm saying goodbye to customer service. And I'm moving full-time, or not full-time, moving to fully focus on study and working at Power to Move at the moment. And it's a big transition. But in the middle of that, it was also my 6-month milestone for my time at Power to Move as a client. So 6 months at the gym, pretty big milestone, especially when we try to keep track of how well things are going at Power to Move. We're so one-on-one client to trainer based that it is something that we do like to take note of, and sort of a bit of a milestone that I personally think is worth sitting down, looking at our progress, and thinking what is the next step in our journey. And then after that, like after all of that, we still have so much coming up in November. It's the end of the month. All Hallows Eve is this Sunday. And after that, November's just kicking off. We've got Eternals. We've got the Australian release of Venom. We've got bloody Hawkeye's Disney Plus series. And then after that, in December, we got Spider-Man No Way Home. And somewhere in all that, I think it's like November 14th, is AEW Full Gear, their next pay-per-view, which I'm super psyched up for. So there's a lot going on in these next couple of weeks to look forward to. So much that I want to talk about that's just happened. Why don't we just get to it, hey? So let's break into talking about my 6-month milestone. If you don't want to talk about this sort of stuff, if you don't want to hear me talk about all how great I've been doing with my weight loss progress and all of that lovely stuff, then just jump on ahead a few minutes. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to chapter this off or give you an accurate time frame of when I'm done blabbering on about this, but just jump on ahead a few minutes. You'll probably figure out when I stop talking about it. Anyway, let's talk about it. So like I said, it's been 6 months, my time at Powder Move as a gym. 6 very big, important, transformative months that I have gone through, and I have done, if I do say so myself, pretty well for myself. Where to start is very difficult with this. I guess I want to start by saying that the 6-month milestone is one that we were looking at back when I first started, and we set out some goals. We set out goals for the 12-week program, so 3 months. We set out goals for 6 months. We set up goals for a year, and then we set up goals for 2 years. So we kind of sectioned it off into large areas, like basically doubling up each period of time between the next goal achieving period, if that makes any sense, when it came to going, what is it I want to achieve by being at the gym? Because here's the thing, and this is something I've come to personally find myself, is that weight loss isn't the exact way to describe what I want to do. Weight loss is an effect of what I want to achieve if I go into the gym. What I want to do is I want to reduce unnecessary body fat, and I want to get fitter and healthier. Both of those things combined will lead to weight loss, but I found that the idea of weight loss can actually be quite a slippery slope. See, before I went to Powder Move, I was like anyone else who wanted to go to the gym to lose weight. I would weigh myself all the time. Once a week, once a fortnight, I would step on some scales. I would step on different scales, and I would always find myself going, man, I'm not losing as much as I would like to. The numbers on this scale are not dropping anywhere near as much as I would like to. And it would slowly demotivate me. I would be making progress as far as my fitness and my strength was concerned, and there was minor progress because I wasn't going as often as I could have been, and I wasn't eating as healthy as I should have, and my sleeping routine wasn't great, and I didn't have a great relationship with my body. But I was still doing stuff, and I should have kept at doing stuff, but I didn't because I demotivated myself with a very unhealthy mentality towards weight loss. It wasn't until I came to Powder Move and that I met Cass, and we had a discussion about the ways in which we look at, getting rid of unnecessary body fat and getting healthier, that it really started to change my mentality for the better towards what I want to do at the gym. So here's the lowdown. When I first went to Powder Move, I weighed myself. I was 167.8 kilograms. At the end of my 12-week program, I went down to 153.4. That is 14.5 kilograms that I lost in a 12-week period. The metric that we usually use at Powder Move with our clients is, if we even do a metric like this, is measurements. So we also measured my neck, my chest, my stomach, my undercarriage, which is undercarriage, like under the stomach area, hip area, thighs, bicep, both flexed and unflexed. In that 12-week period, I lost 27 centimeters across all those areas. Then, 6 weeks later, we then remeasured and reweighed. I had lost another 21 centimeters. So I almost, in 6 weeks, in half the time it took me to lose 27 centimeters, I lost 21 centimeters, 6 centimeters short. But I only lost about 4 kilos. I went down to 49.9, so from 53.4. No, that's actually less than that. It's like 3.5 kilos. trying so hard not to sneeze right now. So in 6 weeks, I lost almost as much centimeters as I did for the 12 weeks, but not even half the amount of kilograms I lost in that 12 weeks. We then measured again and weighed again 4 weeks later, and I didn't actually lose any kilograms, but I did lose, I think, another 11 centimeters. And then on the 6-month mark, reweighed, remeasured. I lost another, I think it was just under 10, it was like 8 centimeters, and I lost a whole kilo. So I'm down to 148. No, actually, no, more than a kilo. 149.9 down to 148 is 2 kilos. I lost 2 kilos, right? That's a, 2 kilos in like 3-4 weeks. That's a pretty decent amount. But again, if you look at the amount that I'm losing in centimeters, the loss is more consistent and notable in the centimeters department of where we're measuring versus the kilograms versus the actual weight. Because as I'm losing body fat and I'm exercising, I'm getting fitter, I'm getting stronger, I'm gaining muscle mass. And that muscle is getting toned up, and that muscle is getting strong, and that muscle is getting fit with me. So, like I was saying at the start, it's kind of this slippery slope by saying, I want to lose weight because, yes, I am way too heavy. 149 or 148 kilos is way too much for most people to handle in their bodies, especially if you're taller, like me, where you're probably already going to have potential knee and back problems as it is just because you're tall. You also add weight to that, and it's not such a good combination. So yeah, weight loss is important for me. But there's that slippery slope of misconstruing, getting healthy and losing the unnecessary weight with a quick drop in kilograms. Because realistically, weight loss, as far as the actual numbers are concerned, very up and down based on level of exercise, history of exercise, biology, diet, sleeping patterns, stress levels, mental health, drugs, based on hormonal cycles as well, based on hydration. Your weight flip-flops constantly, all the time. It never stays consistent. And because of that, it's very easy to fall into these trappings. You could lose or gain like a kilogram every day, You could have a significant loss in body fat over a period of time, but your body may not reflect that in its current weight because of the increase in muscle mass, or because of the fact that you may be, incredibly well hydrated, or holding on to food, or just recently ate, or you're sleeping better, so your body's holding on to more, or what you ate may have been a bit more fatty than what you should have been. Like, there's plenty of things that would cause your weight to fluctuate. And that's something that I realized based on all the numbers I've seen up to my 6-month milestone. That's a lesson that I have learned and will probably have with me for the rest of my life. I'll never forget that the actual weight, while it's important, needs to be considered differently. And that a better metric to take is measuring yourself. Another thing on that as well is that it's also really good to have some kind of support system. Weight loss and getting healthy, especially when you're in a very bad place mentally or physically, is actually quite a strenuous situation to be in. It's a lot, man. Like, some people think that you have to mentally tough it out, and it's something that, you got to find some resolve and willpower. It's not easy. Some people do have the ability to find that resolve and willpower to go into a mental space where they can just work on it, but not everyone does. In fact, I'd actually argue most people do, and that's why we have such a high rate of obesity in the Western world, is because we do have this belief that it should be a self-willpower thing, and we don't create these healthy support structures. which is why I was so happy I found Power to Move, because it is based on this idea of having a healthy support structure, actually helping people take the right path towards their, their fitness goals by actually helping them when they need it the most. And that is in also the mental department as well as the physical department. So even in saying measurement, the whole measuring system we have is better than the weight loss, the measuring of, centimeters over kilograms is better. What really helps that is the fact that we create a healthy support system at Power to Move, which I'm so happy for and has helped me through a lot. 2021 has been a lot for a lot of people, me including. So all that out of the way, all that rambly stuff about health, about healthy support systems and weight loss and all that out of the way. What were my 6-month goals, and did I achieve them? Yeah, actually, I did. All but one goal, and I'll get into it in a moment. So my goals were, I wanted to get below 150 kilos. Smashed that. Absolutely smashed it. I was below 150 kilos well before the 6-month period. Like I said, like the actual kilograms, they're important, but you got to look at them differently. I'm still holding a lot of weight on my body, regardless if it was like fat or even maybe muscle. It may be too much for me to have on my body anyway. So I got to look at slimming down and losing that weight health-wise for myself, regardless of anything else. So that was a goal to get down to a certain point by a certain point, but it was a very realistic goal that I set for myself, But at least I thought it was a realistic goal, down from 167 to 150 in 6 months. I thought 17 kilos was a realistic goal. It may not have actually been as realistic for a lot of people. 17 kilos is a lot. Pick up a 17.5 kilo like dumbbell or something, man. Like pick it up and move it if you can. Even some people may not be able to move it. It's a lot of weight. So somehow though, I did still smash out that goal. I got up to like nearly 15 kilos in 12 weeks. I got that. I got down below 100 and 150, easy. Another goal that I had was to go down a clothing size, and I can report that I did that. My pants, I went down from 48 to 46, and I'm getting to the point where I might even have to start going down a bit further, down to a 44 soon. And for those who are curious, I believe that's inches, like 46-inch waist. We're down to a 44-inch waist. I don't know, like with plus size shopping, it's just I don't really think about what the numbers mean. I just go, well, when I go shop at Target, their 46s are what fit me. But now, the 48s fit me. Now the 46s fit me. The belt I had that was a 48-inch belt from Kmart is now too big. So I had to put an extra hole in it to suit that slightly smaller than 46-inch waist that I'm getting. So I've dropped a clothing size in the pants. All my shirts fit way, way better than they used to. Significantly better. Like there are shirts I haven't put on for a while. I'm like, oh, this actually goes down a significant amount on my body. Like I don't have it riding up near my belly button anymore. It actually like suits me to wear it because it actually sits on me properly. So yeah, that absolutely nailed that. Tick that off. Another goal I had, did I say 3 or 4? I believe I had 4. I might have said 3. Another goal I had was to be more comfortable in my own body, because I'm not really comfortable in my own body at the moment. I'm more accepting of my form. And I feel like I have. I actually feel like I definitely have. I've become more comfortable with aspects of my body. If I'm being real with you all, I still don't like being shirtless in front of people. I still don't like some of the areas of fat, like on my chest. I don't like some of the fat that's there. But those are still, those goals specifically, being comfortable shirtless, is actually a goal I've set for the year mark. So 6 months down the line is when I'm hoping to get into a point where I'm actually comfortable being shirtless in front of people. Not to say that I'll walk around shirtless all the time, but that's a goal down the line. But as it is, I am way more comfortable with my body than I've ever been. So I'm very happy with that progress. The final goal, the fourth goal, the one that I didn't quite nail. I have had this goal for a very long time. I want to be able to do a pull-up. Pull-ups are like a full body exercise. Everything is involved, your core, your chest, everything in your arms. You've just got, everything is involved. And a lot of people can't do a pull-up. I thought I couldn't do a pull-up just because I was overweight. Starting to find now more and more that pull-ups are actually extraordinarily difficult for most people. And there are a lot of people out there who I thought were really fit who can't do pull-ups. I thought my sister was strong enough to do a pull-up, and she can't, apparently. She claims she can't do a pull-up. And my sister is significantly lighter than pretty much anyone I know, and is an athlete. So I was like, okay, well, maybe this whole pull-up thing is harder than I thought. So I'm not quite disparaged by the fact that in that 6-month period, I couldn't do a pull-up. I'm actually quite happy with the fact that I have reached 3 out of 4 of my goals, and that this last goal, which was probably the hardest one in all realism, is still there. So I'm going to push that back to the year mark, 6 months from now to April 21st, to get to a point where I'm light enough and strong enough and capable enough to do a single pull-up. I'm not expecting to be able to go 1, 2, 3 by that point. I just want to be able to just struggle and fight enough to get that 1. That's all I'm hoping to do as far as shifting that goal from a 6-month to a year period. And that's it. I've achieved most of the goals I wanted to by the time I got to the 6-month point, and I'm very happy with that. It's a lot, man. The change in my eating habits, I don't want to say the word diet because the word diet has a lot of implications, a lot of unhealthy implications too. But, the change in my eating habits, in my sleeping habits, in my exercising habits, obviously, as well. Just the change in the way I look at things and my mental health in general has been significant. It's improved. I'm not at the point I'd like to be in any of those areas, though. Like, I have still got a lot to go as far as changing and evolving and becoming a better version of me and learning so much. There's so much I need to learn in every aspect of my life, of this profession I'm going to take on, of this business, of just being a person. And every day I'm discovering more and more that I'm a lot younger than I thought I was. I may be closer to 25 than I am to 24 these days, but still got so much more to go. And I didn't even really think about, I just kept thinking I was getting old, getting older. So that's where I'm at. And we're getting interrupted. Seriously, Doc? Not even for a moment sometimes with this dog. Cappy, you better not want to go out within the next like half an hour, mate, because I'm gonna have to let you out. I'm not gonna be caught on camera ignoring my dog and his needs. Anyway, that's it. That's the whole thing about me and my weight loss and everything. That's all that. Not much more to be said. I've done well. I'm hoping to do more well as time goes on. Let's move on. Let's talk about toys. Let's talk about the nerdy things. This is the point. This right here is the point where you want to be at if you just want to talk about nerdy things. And there's a few nerdy things to talk about, starting with Hasbro Pulsecon. That was on the weekend, and it was good. It was really good. We saw a lot of things. Saw things that I really liked. A lot of things that I thought were really cool, worth mentioning. I mean, I'm surrounded by Hasbro's toys at this point in time, right? Like, there is a lot of Hasbro in this room right now. All the Transformers, Marvel Legends. I got Power Rangers, G.I. Joe in here as well. I want to say theoretically, about 95% of my collection is Hasbro products. And I'm including the Takara exclusive versions of things as non-Hasbro in that. So that's a lot of Hasbro. So yeah, there's a lot of investment I have with Hasbro Pulsecon, and they do these massive reveals and whatnot. So I have a lot of investment in that. So let's talk about it. First things first, let's talk about Marvel Legends, because this is a very comic book themed channel, as you guys know. So let's talk about the comic book thing. And I'm actually going to be honest, not a lot was revealed that I particularly need and really want to go for. See, I'm at a point with my Marvel Legends collection where I've got a lot. And I've got a lot that are still good. So even though they might release new versions of characters and costumes they've already done, that doesn't necessarily mean I'm immediately interested in jumping on top of and getting those versions of those characters again. For example, Scarlet Witch and Vision, they revealed retro series versions of these characters. Scarlet Witch in her classic Avengers attire, Vision in his white look. I'm not really interested in either of those. I just got the family, I say just got, I got earlier this year the Family Matters 3-pack with Magneto, Quicksilver, and of course Scarlet Witch. So I don't really need to get another Scarlet Witch. I have no need for a white Vision in my comic book collection. Really, I don't have a need to display two Visions, especially when they're different. They're the same character, sorry. They're both the same character, so I have no need to display both of them, right? So I have, no reason to get either of those. They revealed this really cool and cute idea, the X-Men videotape series, which is going to be like X-Men Marvel Legends figures redone in like a cel-shaded look to replicate the cartoon from the 90s, the beloved X-Men animated series. They revealed Wolverine, Jubilee, and then a few days later for like the Hasbro Pulse, members exclusive streams, they also revealed Mr. Sinister. They look good. I mean, they look good, but they wouldn't suit my regular X-Men display. They wouldn't suit up there because they're going to be, unique style of coloring and shading. And I have no intention on starting a shelf exclusively for X-Men animated series figures. So I've got no real use to get my hands on them. Like the most I would do is maybe get the Wolverine so I can get my hands on the little picture frame that he comes with, because he comes with a little picture frame, because it's a meme. And I guess if it's a meme, it's important enough to include with your action figures these days. So there we go. So that's another few figures they revealed that I have absolutely no need for. They did like Captain America, the Winter Soldier, which is really cool because the one they did back in 2014 is still good, but a bit on the dated side. So they've released an updated version with better head sculpts and accessories, and it looks great. Great time to release it too, because that costume, I believe, did appear in the Falcon and the Winter Soldier series. And it's a good looking costume. Don't really have a need for it. I'd be half tempted, actually, maybe to get my hands on it so I can use it as like a comic bucky. Oh, no, wait. No, I got a comic bucky. Completely forgot that I got comic bucky last year when the Black Widow wave came out. Yeah, no, never mind. Not even for that. 2-pack for Captain America's, Sam and Steve. Again, I got both. I got both MCU Sam and Steve. I got figures of both, and I got the wing pack for Sam. So, that set doesn't even come with the wings. So there's not much of a reason for me to invest in that set, because I've also got that same cap. Maybe there's a couple of accessories in there. I think there's like a goggleless Sam head that comes with it that looks really good, but I wouldn't really be displaying him without the helmet, so I don't, without the goggles and the cowl, so I don't really have a reason for that either. And the last thing I can sort of remember that they revealed was the retro Marvel Legends. I don't mean retro as in like the old school 80s and 90s stuff. I mean like Wave 1 Marvel Legends throwback sets, which look pretty nifty I think Captain America might be in my future, but I already knew about him. I think they revealed him a few weeks ago at this point. And Iron Man is yet another reuse of, and I believe it's just another reuse of that 85th anniversary Iron Man that they released a few years ago. Again, like I've got AI Iron Man up there. I could go back and get the 85th anniversary one if I want to. I've missed out on the 85th anniversary one actually, so maybe this is the one for me to get. Maybe I do get this one for that armor, but that would require me wanting to display him, and I don't have any room for more Iron Men. I've got a few Iron Men up there. So I finally hit a point where I'm like, most reveals aren't horribly exciting for me anymore because I've got so much, and it has to really catch my eye with engineering, accessories, costume, proportions, paint apps. Something has to really catch my eye for me to go, I need this now. I need it to replace something I've already got. What did catch my eye was Null. That's really cool. I've been wanting, Null was actually, and I'm going to be honest, before I had no time to myself, I was planning on doing like some top 10 list style videos for the channel. Thought maybe that'd be worth doing. And Null was #1 for a very long time. He got pushed back to #2 after I realized that there was another character who I actually wanted more, a character who I think deserved it more. So I was gonna, Null was gonna be 1 or 2 on that list. So he was like important to me for a while, as far as a new Marvel Legends was concerned. It was like a list of like the top 10 Marvel Legends characters, Marvel characters who have not had Marvel Legends yet, and why they should have them, and something like that. Some idea that I was working with, workshopping, and yeah, Null was high on that list. Now he's here, and I'm really happy about that. So it's great. I still got a Ring King in Black. Still got to catch up on all of it. But I'm happy. I really hope Sam knows that that's been announced. I hope he's seen it. I want to know what his reaction is. I haven't seen the latest episode that he and Ashraf did, so I'm not sure if they talked about it. If they did, I'm going to go back and watch it. And you should too. You should absolutely watch it. It only came out yesterday at the time of this recording, and like I said, I've had a busy day, so I haven't had a chance to watch it yet, but maybe he has talked about it, maybe he hasn't. If he hasn't, Sam, if you're watching this, they're making a Marvel Legends Null. It's going to be 8 inches tall. He's going to have the Necro Blade. He looks awesome. I really hope it's like a deluxe figure of some kind, and then it just comes with a bunch of accessories. I just want alternate heads galore. Alternate heads, alternate hands. I want them to go like full import with this thing, man. Just give us all the needless accessories you want. Make this the ultimate Null figure so that we can just be happy with it forever. That's what I want. I don't think I'm asking for too much for that. And also keep it at a like a $60 price point if you can. Please and thank you. The other thing that caught my eye actually came out during the member exclusive stuff. It wasn't even the original Pulsecon. Iron Spidey. He was the thing that really caught my attention because we haven't had a Marvel Legends styled Iron Spider-Man since Hasbro first got the toy line. All the way back in 2006, I want to say it was, when they did Spider-Man Origins, I believe it was called, was when we got Iron Spider-Man as a figure. And I don't think we've had one since. Not like a classic comic book one. They've revealed a classic comic book one, and it looks spectacular. It looks pretty good. Love the way the legs look. They're as wild and silly as they are in the comics, and they've got so much articulation in them. And if this body is anything like any of the other Spideys they've released recently, like that classic Spider-Man Classic Spidey, which I just got my hands on, I'm like 2 years too late to it, but I just got my hands on that Retro Wave Spider-Man, the one that's super articulated that everyone loves. Got my hands on it finally. It cost me way too much money, but I got my hands on it. It's great. So if it's even like slightly like that one, I am down for that so hard. I don't even like the Iron Spider costume all that much, but those legs, I can just if they're sturdy too, they're going to be so fun to pose. I'm going to have so much fun posing that stuff around. So that's what I'm personally looking forward to. So those two are the ones that I really was like, yeah, I need those. Please and thank you. And I'm honestly okay with that. I don't need to be given reasons to spend more money. You know, I'm at a point with my collection where I'm okay with it being a slow build moving forward. But that's it. So I see some people, right? I see some people they jump onto the news on these coming out of these cons, and they comment, you know, disappointing con. And some people even comment angrily, well, I guess I get to keep my money. And it's like, yeah, that's a good thing. Like, not every release has to cater to you and your collection's needs, all right? Not every single figure needs to be something you absolutely want to need. And not every single figure needs to be something that you have to spend money on. The fact that I can look at all these and go, there's two in there that I really want, the rest I can do without, is a good thing. It means that as far as Marvel Legends is concerned, moving forward, I have more budget to put towards Transformers, which we'll talk about soon, because they were a little less nice to me in my wallet moving forward. You know, such figure arts, you know, anything else I collect. So I'm happy that these reveals are not even mediocre, because, like, generally speaking, if, you know, like, if I had a mansion and millions of dollars, I'd get pretty much all of these. I would. And they'd look great. I would have amazing displays featuring every single incarnation of the Avengers. I'd have a shelf specifically for the OG Avengers. I'd have a shelf for the Cap's kooky quartets. You know, I'd have a reason to get White Vision. I'd have a reason to have a second Scarlet Witch. I'd have a reason, because I'd have more money than I know what to do with in a mansion. So it's not like these things are mediocre. It's just that as far as my wallet and my current conditions are concerned, not necessary, not needed. I'm fine with that. They're probably going to make someone happy. There's probably going to be someone out there who's looking at that, you know, that Sam Wilson Captain America 2-pack going, I haven't gotten either of those yet. I want them. Because theoretically, I think you could probably still just get the wing set from the rest of the non-Sam Wilson Disney Plus figures. Like, you could probably just get like Loki and Scarlet Witch and Vision and all that. Get those. Don't get Sam, and I think the Build-A-Figure will still work. Looking at the Sam Wilson figure, I really hope that's the case. So then that way, you're just buying that Sam Wilson in the set, avoiding the single, and also getting Captain America Steve Rogers. That would be cool. People, you know, there are people who are going to be happy about all of that. So, yeah, great. Moving on, they also did Power Rangers. I actually, it's funny, right? I've actually moved my Power Rangers display. So usually it's up here. It's really hard to move all this. So usually it's up here. That's where my villains and all that go. But I've actually given my Transformers display an expansion because I was really running out of space for it. I've also recently come into a situation where I'm going to not be as liquid as I'd like to be for the foreseeable future. Like, not like in a money strife kind of way, just kind of like not as much money as I was getting a few months ago. So I kind of had to look at my collection and go, all right, I need more shelving space and I need to reduce my spending. So I've put my Power Rangers away. My G.I. Joe stuff is also probably going to go that direction. Probably going to put that away. Not sell it, not throw it out, not get rid of it. Just put it away for now, because my money situation could easily at some point get better. And it's not even like a situation. Like, I say situation like it's a problem. I'm just in a situation where, as an adult, I've had to make a choice that's better for my mental and physical well-being, where I am able to get a safe and healthy amount of money to continue my hobbies, make rent, eat food, look after myself, but I require to make sacrifices in my collecting as well to make it feasible. So Power Rangers, they've been put into storage for now. That being said, I had to make that decision just before Hasbro Pulsecon revealed that they're doing Power Rangers in Space Galaxy Gliders. Power Rangers in Space is my favorite season of Power Rangers, and they're doing the Galaxy Gliders. I'm so mad. I'm so mad. Like every time I look at them, I just get a little bit like Lightning Collection Galaxy Glider. Like I just it's why they have to do it, man. Like I just decided to stop collecting them for a while because of my money situation. They go release that. It's not fair. I've also been saying for a while that the Dino Charge Rangers I think are really cool because there's like 12 of them or something. So I want all of them because I think they look really cool together. And this new set that they revealed, they've also got a Dino Charge Pink. Dino Fury, the most recent series, they just revealed the first of the Dino Fury Rangers for the Lightning Collection so far. They also are doing the Cog, which are like the minion bad guys from Zeo. And I've got a lot of Zeo. I've got 4 of the 6, sorry, Zeo Rangers. I believe the other 2 Zeo had already been announced and have been released or are being released. So those COG guys, that would have been pretty cool. And I think the other reveal that really got me going was the Wild Force Lunar Wolf Ranger, because anyone who knows me knows I am a cringy, edgy sucker for wolves. I love wolves. Werewolves are my favorite fantasy monsters. One of my favorite characters of all time in D&D is that Barbarian Totem of the Wolf character. I have like wolf jewelry, wolf t-shirts. I had wolf statues for a while. I like wolves to a level that was at one point in time detrimental to my popularity at school. But anyway, regardless, the Lunar Wolf Ranger is just kind of cool to me, man. He's the 6th Ranger, and the 6th Ranger is inherently cool anyway. Like, you know, Tommy, the Green Ranger, then the White Ranger, you know, the Silver Ranger from In Space, like the Quantum Ranger from Time Force. The 6th Ranger is always super cool. And this is the 6th Ranger, and he's also wolf themed, which is cool. But like he's also like very 2000s. Like he his human form, he's very 2000s. He's got the little new metal soul patch and the sort of wavy neck length hair. It's like it just look him up. Look up the Lunar Wolf Ranger from Wild Force, and you'll see what I mean by incredibly 2000s, like late 90s, early 2000s, new metal scene type guy. It's funny. They also revealed a monster, Piranha's Head, I believe his name is, off the top of my head. I think he's a Mighty Morphin villain. They've done a lot of these Mighty Morphin monsters. They've done King Sphinx, Pumpkin, Rapper. They're doing Eye Guy. Eye Guy, is that his name? Eye Guy, I think it's Eye Guy. Or is that the Ben 10 character? Eye Guy, I think, is a Ben 10 character, actually. He's one of the aliens that Ben turns to near the end of the series. The Eye monster, Pudgy Pig, and now Piranhas. They've got quite a few Mighty Morphin villains. I still really want the Wasp Bee villain and the Mantis. Those are like 2 I really want for them to do. I think those would be really cool. And I also would like them to maybe go ahead and do some villains from outside of Mighty Morphin soon, because I know Mighty Morphin, it's the big one, it's the seller, it's the one that most people are nostalgic for. But like, please, can we get a couple of non-Mighty Morphin villains? Be real swell. Be real swell. I'd like it. I couldn't name any because they're monsters, and like if I went through a list, I'd probably have to pick out the ones that I really, really want. But off the top of my head, there's just so many to name. As far as non-Mighty Morphin monsters, there's a lot. There's like 20 seasons of monsters to name, so I'm not gonna try off the top of my head because I will get it wrong. But I do know I want that bee wasp one. I can't remember what they were called, but they were in Mighty Morphin, and then the costume got reused for In Space. So I know I want it. Was it In Space? It was In Space it got reused for. It was either that or Lost Galaxy. I think it was In Space, though. No, it might have been Lost Galaxy. It was one of those two. It was one of the space seasons that he showed up in. I'm pretty sure it was In Space. Might have been Lost Galaxy. Correct me in the comments below if you want, if you know what it is, because I'm not going to research it at the moment. Like I said, it's late and I'm tired. But yeah, that's Power Rangers. Just when I decided to put them away, and equally so, as I'm thinking of putting my G.I. Joe away so I have more shelf space to expand my Dragon Ball collection, actually. They go ahead and they reveal a couple of G.I. Joe figures. And they're all cool. So, I believe his name is Iron Knife Spirit. He's a character who is blatantly Native American, has a pet eagle, and it looks amazing. I love the way he looks. I like how he looks distinctly different from anyone else that I have in my Joe collection. But he also comes with an eagle. And based on what I was seeing, I'm pretty sure the eagle is articulated with interchangeable wings. Like he's got folded wings and out wings. And I'm being honest right now. I've got the, I'm going to mispronounce it. I've got the Dungeons and Dragons Quinevere, the Panther. That is really good. I've seen reviews for the Snake Eyes with Timberwolf. That wolf looks really good. Now we're getting an eagle. Like, Hasbro, there's money in just doing an Animal Kingdom series. You know that, right? Just panthers, wolves, eagles. Awesome. Also, crocodile. They're doing a Crocmaster, I believe his name is. Like I said, I'm fresh to G.I. Joe. Well, I didn't say that here, but I've said it before. I'm fresh to G.I. Joe. I'm still starting to learn all the characters. It's a little bit like Transformers. They're all these wild and insane characters. And there's that was intentionally so. Transformers followed G.I. Joe's pattern. But Crocmaster is a member of Cobra. I was about to say Hydra. Cobra, member of Cobra. And he has a crocodile that comes with him. He looks cool enough as it is. I like his look. I like the crocodile motif. But the fact that he comes with an articulated crocodile is wicked. I love that. I love that so much. I love the fact that Hasbro, for some reason, is using G.I. Joe as a means to give us all these animals and vehicles. And I'm just like, bring him on. Bring him. Can you release the wolves, like, singularly? Can I army build some wolves, Hasbro? Please, I'd love to do that. Like I said, cringily obsessed with wolves at one point in my life. I'd love to be able to do that. But, like, give us tigers, give us lions, give us everything you've got, man. Like, you might as well at this point. There's, no point in not doing it. You've proven you can do animal figures quite well. And there is a market for it, especially if you do it right. If all of these animal figures do not lead to Hasbro giving us Pizza Dog in Marvel Legends format, like within the next year or so, I will be very upset. Pizza Dog needs to happen. I don't care if it's MCU or if it's comic, because essentially it's a dog. It's a golden retriever. It's the same character. It will be Pizza Dog, regardless if you want it in the comics or MCU. It's the same dog, essentially. Just, I want it, Hasbro, I need it. You've shown you can do canines with the wolf. Now give us Pizza Dog. If that I hope that's what all this has been for, just a way to get to the point of us getting Pizza Dog. I'll say it one more time, Pizza Dog. But yeah, Crocmaster looks really cool. Love the crocodile, love the Crocmaster. Iron Knife looks great. But also revealed was regular Storm Shadow, regular ass normal Storm Shadow. And I say regular because we had like Snow Mission Storm Shadow, but now we're having like an OG original looking Ninja Storm Shadow, which has been coming for a while. I think he's like the most notable Cobra member who hasn't been done yet. And we got the Cobra Officer. And I'm pretty sure the Cobra Officer is a new army builder. Because we have the Cobra Trooper, we have Cobra Infantry, now we have the Cobra Officer. So that's 3 different Cobra things that you can army build. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they also revealed at some point the Cobra... did they reveal the Cobra Bats at some point? Or did I just dream that? I think I might dream that, actually. No, wait, no, it's a thing. No, I didn't dream that. It's real. Yeah, the Cobra Bats, which are like they're like cyborg. No, sorry, not cyborgs. I just did the Dragon Ball thing. I just mixed them up. They're androids. They're like battle androids. And they were like in some prominent episodes of G.I. Joe. Enough so that Super 7 have already done bats. Yeah, like again, that's the 4th army builder. That's 4 army builders for Cobra that you can do. That's a lot of army building, which almost begs the question: when is too much? Too much? A concept I've been wrestling with myself. Looking at my Quintesson shelf, where I've got 5 Quintessons, 10 Alicons, and a bunch of little snakes, and a bunch of Sharktacons coming soon. Like, I am also starting to ponder the question: when is too much? Too much? Maybe a topic for a future video. But as it stands, it's a lot of army builders. It's really cool. Terrible timing again for Hasbro to reveal all of that. For me and my collection specifically. The final piece I wanted to talk about was the Transformers, because this was the part that made me super happy and excited. Because just before Hasbro Pulsecon last week at some point, they revealed 2 of the upcoming figures for Transformers Legacy, which will be the follow-up series to Kingdom. Kingdom was G1/Beast Wars heavy. Now Legacy is going to be like everything. G1, maybe some Beast Wars, G2, and, you know, like characters from Unicron Trilogy, it seems like, and revealed and confirmed characters from Transformers Prime. So what was revealed initially was Deluxe Class G1 Skids and Voyager Class G1-ified Bulkhead. Now, Skids, I was happy about, because Skids is a character I think gets overlooked a lot. He's getting some love. He's got a Masterpiece coming out, or has just come out, or has already come out. I can't remember. And of course, now he's got this Deluxe Class figure. I was super happy with the Deluxe Class figure being revealed. I really like the idea of like finishing my G1 Season 1 and 2 Autobot shelf, like collection up here. I'd show it to you, but this Autobot shelf is actually still a mess. I love the idea of finishing the Season 1, Season 2 Autobots, because Season 2 is actually my favorite season, and Season 2 is just like Season 1 plus. So I like the idea of finishing that. Season 2, yeah, by far my favorite Transformers G1 season. So that's great. I love that. Bulkhead was the one that really made me happy. I know some people had some contention with Skids and Bulkhead. They had some contention with Skids being a bit boxy and slightly odd proportions. And like as I said online, I said this online, I don't mind the proportions not being 100% like, you know, exactly human and anatomically correct, because they are literally giant alien robots who have the ability to change their form as literally a part of their baseline feature. They are the Transformers. The Cybertronians are the Transformers. So, you know, slightly off proportions, I'm fine with that. And it's not like they were disgustingly off. Like, I didn't really even realize his proportions were a bit odd, I think in the shoulder area, until someone pointed it out. And even then I was like, oh, I mean, I guess. A bit wide-shouldered. I don't mind that, though. And the boxiness, I mean, he turns into a very boxy car. Like, Skids is kind of boxy. So I didn't mind. I did not mind barely noticed, still like the way he looks. Bulkhead got a little bit more criticism from people who were fans of Bulkhead, but me personally, as someone who grew up on Transformers Animated and then Transformers Prime, with Bulkhead being one of my favorite characters of all time in the series, like genuinely, like maybe top 10 Transformers characters of all time, I could not be happy with what we got. It seems to be like a fun combo between Prime, animated, and then mix that together into a G1-ified concept of the character. The reason, it's immediately obvious the Prime inspiration, because he's got regular hands, which the animated version has claws, but this one has regular hands. One of the accessories is his mace accessory, which you plop over the hand like his Prime version. So he's got that mace accessory. And he's also kind of just, his head sculpt has the Prime jawline, the jaw piece, as opposed to the animated one that's a little bit more, like the Transformers animated one almost is more like a Warhammer Orcs more, if you know what I'm talking about, like a Warhammer 40k Orc more, whereas the one from Prime was just more like a thick jawline robot thing, like stylized jawline. So it's very clearly the Prime head sculpt, Prime weapon. Where I'm getting animated from is actually his vehicle mode. His vehicle mode is some form of like troop carry, like a troop transport, or like a troop transport truck, which is what Bulkhead actually turned into in animated. Now, in animated, it was a very circular, rounded off, and thick one that was more like a SWAT vehicle. This one seems to be more of a military troop carrier, but it's still a green troop carrier vehicle. That's the same vehicle, man. Like, that's just different universes, same vehicle. This one is more boxy, though. And generally speaking, this is kind of a G1-ified Bulkhead. Like, even the guy who designed it is essentially a G1-ified Bulkhead. And I'm fine with that, because if looking at his robot mode, he looks like he's going to be about as big, if not slightly taller, than our regular Leader Class Prime, which is where he should be size-wise. But he's going to be super, like, torso thick. But looking at the way his torso transforms, he's very, well, he's bulky. He's Bulkhead, that's his name. So I like that. I think when I get him in hand, I'm going to love him, because he looks like he's just going to be a really good Transformer that does a really fun representation of a version of a character that I love. Can't ask for more than that. Those two were enough. That could have satiated me for months. And it would have, because Legacy doesn't really come out until next year. But then they decided just to be like, screw it, we're just going to reveal mostly all of Wave 1, minus maybe the core classes, and possibly maybe an extra Voyager even. I don't know. I don't know what the case, even like the case numbers are going to be for Legacy. I just know that they revealed 4 Deluxes, 1 Voyager, 1 Leader in total. And they didn't have to, because they could have just done some Studio Series reveals or some Kingdom reveals or whatever, but no, they decided to go the full hog in hand. Let's reveal a huge portion of Legacy. And it was G1 heavy, 3 G1 characters, 2 Prime characters, 1 G2 character. So a decent slate, if you ask me. Again, G1 heavy, but it's also G1 characters who either needed to be redone or, to be honest, personal favorites of mine, so I'm not going to complain. Like I said, they revealed Skids and they revealed Bulkhead. They then, during Pulsecon, revealed Prime RC, Deluxe class. Looks pretty good. Not the smoothest looking Prime RC. Definitely a bit more, it's not the Prime style, it's more G1 style, but it's still clearly Prime RC. Like, there's no mistaking it. Like, the legs are a bit, like, the wheels on the legs are a bit off, but there's something kind of charming about them. Her design almost reminds me of, like, the Scout class figures from Cybertron through to, like, 2010. Those Scout class toys. But, I like the way she looks. I like it. If it's a good enough figure, it might replace my G1 RC on the shelf. Yeah, I might actually replace my G1 RC. I like this G1 RC, but I only really like her with her backpack taken off. And at that point, she's more of an action figure than a Transformer, and I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind parts forming. I've gone on record saying I don't mind parts forming. I don't mind seeing things. I do want to say that I prefer fembots who aren't the G1 style fembots. They aren't the often described as wayfish build, and they turn into cars, and it's always the same sort of shell forming aspect. I personally prefer it when fembots are either thicker so that they can better fit into a vehicle mode, or the vehicle they turn into is more complementary of their more feminine form. See, how did I just forget her name? Slipstream. Slipstream or Windblade, who both turn into very small jets, and Prime RC, who turns into a motorcycle, and it all suits the design more, right? I will note on Prime RC, there seems like there's probably some room for a Gen Select animated prow based on this figure. 100% I'm okay with that. That would be an absolutely fine decision. I think if Hasbro went the route and went, cool, this is going to be Prime prow, this is Prime RC, painted up, new head sculpt, maybe some new weapons. It's animated prow. I'm okay with that. Totally fine with that. Like, it'll work. Yeah, Prime RC, grabbing her. They also revealed Kickback, Deluxe Kickback. We had the Insecticons as little Legends class figures for a while. They got all three of them out. People have been asking for Deluxe class Insecticons. Hasbro went, sure. Well, okay, actually what Hasbro did was they did a fan vote that Run Amok won, and all the other characters were in it, were like Nor, who obviously, as the Sharkticon got released in Studio Series, Kickback, who is now being released. Nose Cones was the last one in that, so expect to see Nose Cone in Legacy at some point at this point, man. Like, it's happening. We're gonna get Nose Cone. But yeah, so Kickback was revealed. He looks good. Looks like a great Insecticon. Comes with these big purple swords, and that's when I really noticed that all the figures in this line have energon weapons. Kickback has two big purple swords. Bulkhead has a tiny blue Gatling gun. Skids had a blue axe. RC had has two weapons that can form a shield, but kind of replicate her like slicey arms from Prime. So that's when I really noticed it, because Kickback had these massive purple swords, which actually really coolly enough sit on his wings, like his insect mode wings in insect mode. That's really cool. I thought it looked awesome. So Kickback looks great. I haven't had a lot of people talk about Kickback, and I think it's just because it's just a good looking Kickback. That's a proper G1 looking character, like the version of him. So I don't think anyone had anything to really complain about or really bring up that was like worthy of mentioning beyond, oh, that looks like a good Kickback. One character, however, in the whole thing had an absence of these energon weapons, and that was Dragstrip, one of the members of the Stunticons. And I remember there being a leaked list of potential Legacy figures. He was on the list, as well as all the other Stunticons, including a Commander-class Motormaster. And on the back of Dragstrip's packaging, as they announced at the thing as well, it does say 1 out of 5 combiners. They're doing combiners again. Not sure if they're going to go all in, or if it's just that this is going to be a slow giving us some combiners here and there process. They're starting with the Stunticons, and I love that because I love the Stunticons. Love them. I don't know why. I just, something about Decepticon cars is really cool to me. I love the bad guy vehicles, so I'm super happy that we're getting the Stunticons again, and I'm really interested to see what they do with it. The theory is prevailing that Motormaster is a Commander class figure because he's going to have the robot mode come from the cab, and his vehicle in the trailer is actually going to split off from him and turn into Menasor. Was Menasor like a frame for Menasor? So like that, it clicks into all the different robots, and that's how they make a combiner figure that's much more sturdy than the ones that we get. Because like I could. Oh, this is a terrible idea. I'm pulling a combiner out. So, with the combiners, and this guy's a little dusty. Like the combiners here, like you get these ratchet joints here in the combiner port, but like then you get the arms, which are like ball joint, like double ball joints that are just used to usually support just deluxe class figures, but here in this situation, you know, I'm expecting that arm to hold up and then maybe hold a weapon, right? You know, like bloody Abominus's leg here. That's not the strongest Ratchet in the world. You know what I mean? Oh, wow, he's really dusty with feet here. Look at that dust this guy. Anyway, point is, not the best as far as like, you know, stability is concerned. Now, the Titan class combiners, from what I've been told, are a bit sturdier, but they have more budget to be put towards being sturdier. And all those are also Voyager-sized characters that combine into a much larger combiner. So the Ratchets are sturdier and stronger. But hopefully this Commander class Motor Master and therefore Menasor combined mode is going to address the issues that most combiners have, and that being one that some people have that I don't mind too much looking at these combiners is proportion. Like I said, don't mind proportions. They're alien robots. It's fine. But if proportions get addressed and then the articulation issue with the ratchet joints gets addressed, yeah, I'm happy. I was saying before, Dragstrip is the only character who didn't have any of those energon weapons. So I think that might be a theme with the Stunticons. And then maybe what might happen is they might do like Legacy Part 1 and then like Legacy Part 2, they'll do another combiner team, like they might do the aerial bots, for example, and they'll follow the same process. Everyone gets, you know, they get 4 deluxes and a commander class. Although maybe with the Capaticons. I'd love it with the Capaticons if they did like Voyagers, just because they do turn into larger vehicles. Like Capaticons would be my choice of having this done. I think a Commander class Onslaught would be amazing. Like, how cool would that be? Like the whole, you know, you get the truck portion that turns into Onslaught and the whole artillery deck in the back. Oh, that would be so cool. I'm really hyping myself up on this idea. I like the idea. I like the concept of a Commander class figure that's like a leader class with a trailer that turns into a frame for combining. That is such a cool idea, and I like it. I'm down for it. Speaking of leader class, the final thing they revealed with the Transformers is, well, for Legacy specifically, is G2 Optimus Prime. Laser Optimus Prime, essentially. I had the, was it Classics Optimus? Oh, no, it wasn't Classics. It would have been Universe Deluxe Class Optimus, yeah, G2 Optimus Prime. That was cool. But that being said, I think this might be actually the one I look at skipping the most. His trailer turns into a battle station, which is cool, but I couldn't see any of the airlock ports that they used for the Micromaster bases. So these little ports here, which I think were super cool. I actually really liked the Micromaster bases. But Micromasters aren't really a thing anymore. And yet, they still have a base. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there is. It is in there somewhere. But I'd be disappointed if it wasn't. If they do have Micromaster base ports, like the airlock ports, I'd be more considering to get G2 Laser Prime, but I'm not sure if there's really anywhere on my shelf that I would put him anyway if I got him. I like the sword, but I don't think a sword and a nifty base is enough to justify the full leader price point for me. So out of all of them, the leader class is actually the one I'm probably considering to get the least. You know what? That's fine. Like, again, like I said, Marvel Legends, I don't mind the fact that there's one or two I look at and go, yeah, man, it's okay. No, if it ended up in my possession somehow, I would not complain. I would not have an issue. But I'm not going to go out of my way to get it in my possession, if that makes any sense. So, and then later on today, literally today, they revealed Generation Select's lift ticket, which is just Red Hoist. And I like the fact that there's a robot called Lift Ticket. I like the fact we're doing more Diaclone stuff. Just feed it into me, man. I'll buy it. Yeah, I'll buy all the Diaclone themed stuff, man. Still waiting on Loud Pedal from Trax. Still want them to do Loud Pedal because I like Loud Pedal. I like the idea of this Decepticon who's also secretly a music mastermind. It's cool to me, man. But yeah, Lift Ticket's cool. G2 Prime's cool. I'm actually more excited for Lift Ticket than I am for the leader class G2 Prime. Might be weird, but what can you do? And that was Hasbro Pulsecon, man. It's a lot. I didn't even mention up until now the Nerf gun Needler from Halo. That looks super cool. They did like a Fortnite reveals and whatnot. Like, there was a lot from Pulsecon. And it's a lot enough for me to go, man, I'm going to have issues with my bank account. But also, not as bad as I thought it would be. Because between Marvel Legends, I mean, putting Power Rangers and probably G.I. Joe away soon, it was good. Enough for me to be excited. And a little bit jealous that I don't have as much money as I had a few months ago. So yeah, a lot. I have no idea how long I've been running for. Just over an hour. I was going to talk about the fact that I've got my Hot Toys up there now, but I might leave that to another day. So I've got Hot Toys up there, and I'd probably want to go get them, bring them down here, and present them to the camera and go, this is what I've been spending ludicrous amounts of money on. See, look at that. People who have been watching all our podcasts that I've been on might actually notice that that shelf there used to be a Marvel Legends display, and that these shelves here were a bit different. I've actually changed my display. The top shelf used to be MCU Legends and comic book Galaxy, like, you know, cosmic heroes essentially. I've moved my cosmic heroes down to this shelf where some MCU villains were, and I've moved. I made Spidey shelf on this one, which is not finished. Not sure how well it can show up in the camera. I don't think it is at all. But some of the Spideys in there don't even have their heads connected at the moment. They're just fresh there. Like, I only put them in there like today. I haven't gotten all the bits and pieces out of storage yet. I'm gonna move those down. Got the villains, put them away. Got the heroes, put them away. I'm putting up these MCU Hot Toy figures because I've got some Hot Toys. I want more. I realized as soon as I got more, I didn't have any space for them, so I decided to make the plunge and put my MCU Marvel Legends away. But more on that another day, because if I go any longer than an hour, I know I'm not doing the podcast with him, but I think Sam would still find a way to jump through the screen and just hurt me somehow. So I'm going to call it there. I only hit 2 topics today, and one was literally, I think, about like 20, maybe 30 minutes of me talking about me and my health. That's what you get. It's Connor's show. It's Connor's show. We talk about Connor things on here. So I'm going to end it off by saying thank you for joining me today on a show I have yet to name. Still looking like it's going to be the name of the show. I have been the Howlitzer Hound. I hope you have enjoyed yourself. If you have, then I do hope to see you again very soon. It's very awkward to stare at the camera and just be like, bye. Yeah. Bye. I've not nailed it at all. At all. It's weird. It's weird. It's presenting things weird.